everybody, and welcome back to North Texas Kids. I'm Dr. Minette, Riordan, the founder of North Texas Kids Magazine and North Texas Kids Online. You can find us at northtexaskids.com or on YouTube at youtube.com/NorthTexasKids. We've got a whole host of great informational videos that we're bringing you with our clients. Like today, I am so excited to have Billy Edwards here with me today. Welcome, Billy.
Thank you.
He's the Executive Director of Behavioral Innovations, which is a phenomenal new program for children with autism. And I'm going to let Billy give you a little introduction and tell you a little bit more about what some of their programs are and who would be best suited to come and hang out and play with you guys over here.
Thank you. Thank you. We're very excited to be able to partner with North Texas Kids in this capacity. And we're very excited to be able to be serving the Dallas-Fort Worth community in the way that we are. The children that we serve primarily are children that have been diagnosed with autism that range in age from birth to 12. There are not as many resources available in the Metroplex for children who are older than 12, but we also can try to assist families who have children that are of greater age in that capacity as well if need be. And you know, the reality is it's just a wonderful thing to be able to be in the position to serve kids.
Well, tell us a little bit about the program, because it's a fairly unique program, and you created this program a number of years ago.
This is an exciting year, actually, because this represents our 10th year.
Wow,
in
congratulations.
Thank you. And we have, for the past 10 years, been in the position to provide behavior analysis services specifically, which essentially means there's a level of intensity that is provided for children, basically between 2 to 30 hours a week of intensive intervention. That's either one-on-one, one-on-two, or in small group, depending on a child's needs and where they are.
And this is an in-person program, right? The child, most of the time the child comes to you for the program.
Most of the time the children do come to us. We have different services, so children who are in the position to be in school or who would be better suited to have services in the home, we can serve them in that capacity. But I'd say the majority of our children do come to our treatment facilities.
Well, in the Dallas-Fort Worth facility, or you have two now in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but the one I'm in is the Dallas location. It's beautiful. You can see the playground. We're in the playroom today, and normally it's very noisy in here, and there's lots of kids, and it's a really fun, wonderful, welcoming environment to be in. So I really appreciate that you've kind of created that experience for parents. But, you know, tell me a little bit about why you do this and what some of the wonderful results that you're seeing.
That's a great question. And I could give you a 7-hour answer.
And if you guys knew Billy, like I know Billy, he can talk for hours, and he's an amazing speaker. I love listening to you speak every time I hear you. So also, I know that's an option that people can invite you to come out
they can.
and give presentations as well, or just come and visit with him here in the facility and learn a little bit more.
Well, you know, Minette, the thing is that what attracted all of us to our profession is the reality that we can help kids.
Right.
And I think, you know, when we were placed in the position to try to determine a career path and figure out what we wanted to do, you're faced with so many different kinds of options. And behavior analysis represented for us the one thing that really was a substantial, was a systematic, and was a concrete way in which we could try to put a child on a path that might be not necessarily the path that the parents hoped for or thought about initially, but one that would be productive and one that would put them in the position to be as successful as they can be. And from the standpoint of thinking about the successes that we've had, you know, we never really know when we meet a child what their outcome is going to be in our kind of program. But what we do know is that we're focused on improving their quality of life, and that we can do that.
And you are giving parents just a little bit of hope that
there's
going to be some change.
And I want to be realistic about it, but at the same time, you know, what parents are faced with when they're dealing with autism is just a tremendous burden in so many different kinds of ways. And in our case, we believe we're a component of that. We're not the only solution, but we're one thing that could be done that would ideally help families get some peace of mind that their children can learn, that their children can grow, and that they can achieve things that maybe someone else thought they would.
So much has changed in the 10 years since you started. When you started, there was nothing available for parents of children with autism. And if people want to find out more, I just want to make sure I insert real quick the website. You can go to behavioral-innovations.com. You've recently opened a Fort Worth location. You're launching in San Antonio and
Wichita Falls and East Texas as well. We don't have a specific location for East Texas yet, but we're calling it East Texas.
But it's a testament to how successful your program is and to your commitment to really make a difference in so many children's lives. So I just want to make sure that parents make the effort to go to the website, behavioral-innovations.com, and get some more information. So can you talk just real briefly about how your services compare with some of the others that are out there available to parents with children impacted by autism?
Sure. There are many options that parents have, and fortunately for parents whose children are diagnosed now, there are more options than there ever were before. And so in our case, we attempt to work collaboratively with whomever the parents are involving in their child's care. But I would say that the thing that probably stands out with regards to our services is our commitment to their education and to the level of intensity that we provide.
Right.
And I say intensity only because we know that the more practice someone engages in, the more likely they are.
When you say intensity, it's not that it's hard, but you're saying consistency and frequency and lots of repetition.
Lots and lots of repetition.
Well, and you know, it's amazing because kids love that. All kids love repetition. Like, it's why your kid can watch the same Bob the Builder episode 50 different times. I never get that, but our kids do get it. So, you know, another question that I know is so important to parents, is there any financial assistance? Does insurance cover any of this?
That's a great question. We have long been, as behavior analysts, known as the most expensive treatment option around.
Okay.
I would freely admit that. But excitedly, over the last couple of years, at least in Texas, there has been a number of changes, primarily in the insurance legislation. So 2 years ago, 100% of our client population were people who were having to pay out of pocket for the totality of our programs. Now 95% of them utilize insurance benefits in some kind of capacity. How so is broad, but they are in the position to be able to access insurance.
And is that something that you guys proactively help guide parents through, that kind of insurance?
Absolutely.
I know it's like a rabbit warren a lot
well,
of times.
I'm not going to claim that we know everything. I'm not going to claim that it's even a static process, because the insurance industry itself is learning about our kind of services while we're learning about working with the insurance industry. But that process is a very involved process where we will work with families hand in hand, essentially, to try and help the insurance company understand the nature of what we're doing. And we have been successful in being able to do that. I will also freely admit that in some instances we haven't been. And it just speaks to the reality that we've come to a point, and that's great.
But it's a willingness to try and to explore that and to make an effort to see what can be done. And that's, I think that's what's important for parents to know. And then I have one last question, because we're almost out of time. It always goes by way too fast. Just, you know, what are the tips, advice that you can offer to parents who are looking for professional services for their child? You know, what are some of the questions to ask?
Great question.
I know we could talk about that for probably half an hour.
or a day. I would say this. The reality is, you've got to find people who you're comfortable with, and you've got to find people who have the kind of background that you need. So what I always tell parents is, find someone who's a board-certified behavior analyst. If you're looking for ABA services, obviously we're biased. We'd like for you to seek our services, but look for a BCBA, and then make sure you interview people. Ask them questions. Find out whether or not their personality fits with yours. Find out whether their expectations meet yours and mesh with yours. And
that's great advice.
The most important thing, though, because I think families of kids with autism end up, through the internet primarily, and from talking to other families, get exposed to so much information. You've got to put yourself in a position to be comfortable with the interventions that you're using for your child. Regardless of whether it's ABA, whether it's OT, speech, anything, you've got to see improvement and be able to measure it and know that that's what's making a difference for them. And if you're comfortable with that, then you've found something that's effective for your family.
That's such great advice, and it's so hard, because I know we get overwhelmed so often by the influx of information, and the internet is both a curse and a blessing. There's so much great information out there. There's so many new support groups. There's a lot of parent chat happening around the subject of autism. There's so many more support groups than there ever have been before. But I would love for you guys to take some time to visit with Billy. Please go again. That's www.behavioral-innovations.com. or to northtexaskids.com to find more information. Our calendar is a great resource. We have a lot of the support groups listed in our calendar, both in print and on our website as well. Billy, thanks so much for taking time out of your crazy busy schedule.
Thank you.
For coming to visit today. Any
Appreciate it.
last words of wisdom for our parents?
No, just be diligent.
Be diligent. Well, thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time on North Texas Kids Video YouTube Fun Crazy channel. Thanks so much.